Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back. Hashtag Broadcasting coming back to you guys again here today. And this time, it is not a setup giveaway, it's more of a setup guide. So, I figured with the new game coming out, entirely different setups. A lot of the same of what we worked with on NASCAR Heat 5, but completely different builds, completely different ways that they affect the car, and the setups just look entirely different from the way we ran everything on Heat. And some of the things do different things, and some of the things affect the cars a little differently. And, a lot of things in the setup are just complete opposite of what we did on Heat. So I do want to do a setup guide because I know a lot of people wanted, they run a lot of setups on YouTube, or they're given a setup, but they want to make their own cars, or they attempt to make their own cars, but they don't understand what everything does. So I'm going to give some tips and tricks. I'm going to give some setup ideas, maybe some bases for people wanting to build their own setups. And because if you don't know what you're doing with your own setup and you're trying to make one, it's kind of going to be all over the board. You're probably going to be doing things that are known not to work by people who build setups. You're probably not going to know all the tips and tricks and use the things that people know work. You're probably just going to be starting from scratch and have everything at random places instead of having a general idea of where things should be. So with that being said, I guess we'll start with the springs. So I guess I'll do both front springs here. So this is a base setup. This is Homestead setup 6. This is just a base. I don't have anything in for this. So let's get started. So this front spring rates, let's just go ahead and put them all the way down to start. So you put all your front spring, or you put your front springs, you put both of them down. It's obviously going to free the nose of the car up. You put both of them up, going to put them to max, and it's going to tighten the front of the car up. Put that back to 0. It's going to tighten the front of the car up. So you put them all the way up, both of them. I'm talking about both of them. You put them both up. It's going to tighten the nose. You put them both down. It's going to free the nose. Kind of the way nose weight works. Now, the big difference in the front springs compared to nose weight is you can shift the weight. So you can put the left front all the way up and the right front all the way down. Now, what's that going to do? It's going to shift all the weight, the front nose weight, to the left side of the car. So it's going to help your nose turn drastically. It's not going to affect the rear of the car whatsoever. It's going to make your front nose hook left. So you can put them both down and it's going to free the nose up. But if you put the left front really high and the right front really low, it's going to make the front end, it's going to make the nose turn even better. Now you could do the opposite. You can really tighten the nose up. You can go ahead and put the front spring up, put the left spring all the way down, and the opposite's going to happen. All the front weight in the nose is going to shift to the right. Car's not going to want to turn. But you can do that if you're loose. The front end's too loose. You can make an adjustment like this. So in other words, you put them both down, it frees the nose up. You put them both up, it tightens the nose up. If you put the left front higher than the right front, it's going to, in other words, free the nose up. And if you put the right front higher than the left front, it's going to tighten the nose up. We will talk about the shocks. I'm going to skip the shocks for now because those are a little in depth. We will go to tire pressures. First off, you want to run them all at 15 on this game, unless you're going to Daytona or Talladega. Unlike NASCAR Heat, where we ran the lefts in the pretty much where they're at in the 20s, and the rights closer to 60 or high 50s, mid 50s. On this game, all at 15. You can't run anything else. You need to have them all at 15. You're going to be way faster. Car's going to have way more grip. You can try and put the rights up to 30s, 40s. It's not going to turn. You're going to be really slow. And for straight line speed, you can raise the lefts. I know some people are starting to run them 17, 5, 20 for race setups. For a qualifying setup at tracks like Indy, you can actually put them up to 30 or even as high as 65 if you want to. And it's going to be good for a lap. Car's going to get super tight after one lap. So if you're looking to build a race setup, 15 all the way around. For setup tweaks, you can go up a click. Like, it's not going to hurt you to run 17.5. If you're loose, put the front end up a little bit, or if you're tight, put the rear end up a little bit. You can do that, but you don't want to run them all in the 30s or the 40s or the 50s. They all need to be at 15, maybe a click or two up if you're looking for a small tweak in the car. If you are looking for a small tweak in the car, again, like I said, if the car is tight, put the right rear tire up. That'll loosen your rear end. If the car is loose, you can put up the right front tire. It'll tighten the nose. I wouldn't touch the lefts. I'd run them at 15. Again, some people are running them at like 17.5 or 20 for race setups. I haven't started doing that yet. You can do it. I prefer to run everything at 15. Cambers, unlike NASCAR Heat where we ran, what was it, like 3.5 on the left front and then like 2 to 2.5 on the right front for most tracks. You want to run max cambers as well. You're not gonna burn your tires off. First off, you can put them at max. You're gonna first off you're gonna gain speed putting the cambers up. And yes, there's rear cambers, so go ahead and put those up as well. 7. You're gonna want to put your rear cambers all the way up. I pretty much every setup I've seen has max cambers. First off, when tires hit 0, they don't actually blow. You just lose a lot of grip, but the tires don't actually blow on this game. And number 2, it's a lot faster to have your cambers up, and the tires simply don't fall off when they wear. It's all about tire temperature more than it is actually tire wear. And the tires, they don't wear. It's not like you put them at 7 and you're blowing tires in 10 laps like you would on Heat. Like, you can run 7 cambers and you can go the whole run. So max cambers, that's what you want to do for every track, max cambers. We will talk, I guess we'll do shocks next before we go to the stuff on the right there. So each corner of the car does something different. The bump and the rebound, they work together for each corner of the car. So just because you're running something on the left front doesn't mean you have to run that on the right front. Same thing with the rear shocks. So maybe you want to write this down too. It's not as simple as you go up, it's loose, go down, it's tight. Each one does something different. So maybe write this down or something. So the left front bump, you go all the way up, and the rebound, you can go all the way down. That is max loose. The higher the bump, the lower the rebound. That is loose for the left front shock. You want to go all the way down, all the way up. That is max tight. Lower bump, higher rebound, that's tight. You can run them somewhere in the middle. You can run 6.5. That's going to trend loose. You can go 5.6. That's going to trend a little tight. Obviously, you go 7.3, 8.3, that's going to trend tight. You can go 8.3, that'll trend loose. You guys can do whatever you want with those. So the left rear shock and the right front shock, they do the same. It's the opposite of the left front. So you're going to run on 0.10 for both. That is max loose for both left rear and right front. 0.10 is max loose. Lower the bump, higher the rebound is loose. Obviously, the opposite, higher bump, lower rebound. That is going to be max tight. Higher the bump, lower the rebound, max tight. Again, you can run them somewhere in the middle, 5.6, 6.5. It's going to trend either loose or tight, depending on which one's higher than the other. And that is pretty much these shocks there for the left rear and the right front. Now, the right rear is different than all of them. Both of them up is loose. Both of them down is tight. So you can run them 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be tighter. Or you can run them at 8, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever you want to do. It's going to be loose. I didn't even talk about the rear springs. I guess I skipped right over those. So let's talk about the rear springs. Can't forget about the rear springs. We talked about the front springs. Let's talk about the rear springs. Sorry, I forgot about those. So these do work a little bit different than the front springs. For instance, right here. So you put the left rear spring all the way down, put the right rear spring all the way up. That is loose. That is wrecking loose. That is super loose. The lower the left rear spring or the higher the right rear spring, loose. Opposite, you can go down on the right rear spring. You can go up on the left rear. That is extremely tight. So it's the opposite. Higher the left rear, tight. Lower the right rear, tight. You can. So what I do for most tracks is I'll run minimum left rear, and then I go 2 clicks up from minimum for the right rear, and that seems to be a solid base for every track. Some people will run them higher. Yeah, I don't see it super often. A lot of people run lower rear springs. In the Cup cars, I don't generally see the left rear higher than the right rear. I see it a lot for Xfinity trucks and ARCA. I do not see it much for Cup. This is the standard. But again, if you're loose, go down on the right rear, or you can go up on the left rear, and it'll tighten the car up. Now, if you, so I guess I should talk about this too. If you run both of them up, that's going to be looser. It won't be as loose as if you put the right rear up, but put the left rear down. This is the loosest for the rear springs right here. You put them both up, it's loose, but if you put the right rear up and the left rear down, it's really loose. Same thing, you put them both down, it's tight. But now if you go put the left rear up and keep the right rear down, it's really tight. So if you put them both down, it's going to make you tighter. You put them both up, it's going to make you looser. If you put the left rear higher than the right rear, it's going to make you really tight. And if you put the right rear higher than the left rear, it's going to make you really loose. I know it's a lot. Hopefully you're remembering this stuff or writing it down. It's a lot, but working on setups for a long time, I have a pretty decent understanding. So we're going to talk about the sway bars. So the front sway bar and the rear sway bar, they do the opposite. Obviously, front controls the front, rear controls the rear, but they do the opposite. So the higher the front sway bar, the tighter your front end's going to be. The lower the front sway bar, the looser your front end's going to be. The rear sway bar is the opposite. Lower is tight, higher is loose. That's pretty much all there is to the sway bars. So I will talk about the wheel lock. I know I'm jumping around, but I'm trying to keep stuff together. Wheel lock and offset kind of go together. They don't really adjust the feeling of the car. It's more or less the way you steer the car. So the wheel lock is the wheel lock is simply sensitivity. The lower you go, the less sensitive your car is going to be. The higher you go, the more sensitive your car is going to be. So it kind of works the same as your steering range would in your wheel settings. You put it all the way down, you're going to have to turn the wheel really far before the car responds. Whereas if you put it all the way up, go ahead and turn the wheel the slightest bit, car's going to respond. That's all wheel lock is. Steering offset is literally, does the car go straight down the straightaway? If you put it up, if your wheel is straight or your controller, you're not touching the joystick, the car's going to lean right. If you put it down, car's going to lean left. You put it right around 0, -1, +1, car's going to go straight down the straightaway. I tend to run, I'm like the only person that does this, I run -13, so the car will lean left. I like it because it helps me coming out of the corners and getting into the corners. The car's already leaning left already before you, my wheel is tilted to the right just the tiniest bit down the straightaway, nothing crazy, but it helps me. I don't have to turn the wheel as far getting into the corner. Because the car's already leaning left. A lot of people actually run higher, so the car will lean right. That's just simply personal preference, whatever you're comfortable with. Brake bias. So obviously, higher the brake bias, the more front brake you're going to have. The lower the brake bias, the more rear brake you're going to have. If you're coming to pit road and the car's spinning out, your brake bias is probably too low. If you have your brake bias at 40, you're going to spin out coming to pit road every time. But if you have it at 70, the car's probably not going to stop. You're just going to slide and the car's never going to slow down, you're going to speed. So 50 is probably the happy medium. You can run, again, that's more or less personal preference. The brake bias really comes in for short tracks because you actually use the brake, then the brake bias will come in. If the car is sliding too much getting into the corner at a short track, go up on the brake bias. If you feel like you're getting into the corner, you're jamming the brakes and it's not stopping, go down on the brake bias. Rear end ratio is literally just the gear. The highest gear, lowest gear, middle gear. That's all there is to it. Cup cars, you actually run all over the place. I've been liking the low gear for Cup cars. If you run ARCA, I know we run Max. I can't tell you trucks or Xfinity. I haven't run it enough to know. But literally just if you're running too much RPM, lower the gear. If you don't have enough, raise the gear. That's all there is to the rear end ratio. And then these are pretty self-explanatory. The wedge, you go up, it tightens the whole car. You go down, it loosens the whole car. Left weight, if you're at an oval, always run 53. You want the car leaning left because it's all left turns. You always want 53%. And then the nose weight. Simply, you go down on it, it frees the nose. You go up on it, it tightens the nose. It does not affect the rear of the car at all. It's just you pull weight out of the front, the nose will turn better. You put weight in the front, and the nose won't turn as good. So now, since we have, so I've touched everything, I'll go ahead and throw a base in here for you guys that I run. You can put this in, and it will work everywhere. With minor tweaks. You might have to make 1 click, 2 clicks on the wedge, possibly a click on the rear spring or something. Nothing crazy. This should work at every track though. Go ahead and give you guys a base here. And this is pretty much it. So I run minimum front springs. I run a minimum left rear. Again, right rear up 2 clicks for minimum. Shocks right in the middle somewhere. Minimum tires, maximum cambers, no sway bar. This is my personal wheel lock. This is my personal offset. If you're on controller, you're gonna want to run somewhere around 0. I like minimum nose weight. The gear depends on the track. Brake bias, personal preference, and then just adjust the wedge accordingly. If you're loose, go up on it. If you're tight, go down on it. If you're really loose, you can go down on the right rear spring. But otherwise, this base should work for pretty much every track. And this is for cup cars. So, with that being said, if there's any questions, if anybody has any questions about, setup adjustments, setup tweaks, if your car is this or that, what do you do to fix it, I can let you know. I try and explain everything as good as I could here and as clear as I could, just so everybody has the clearest understanding of, what things do in the setup. I know if you're tight or loose, you're going to be like, well, what do you adjust? Because everything affects tight or loose. Well, that kind of depends on where the setup is at. If this setup is in and the car is tight or loose, adjust the wedge. If it's really bad, adjust the right rear spring 1 or 2 clicks, up or down. That's the only thing I would touch with this. But if you're running the base like this, then it's just going to depend. So, with that being said, hopefully, again, any questions, feel free to ask me, and I'll be sure to get back to you guys and let you know if I can help you out with adjustments or setup bases or whatever. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully it'll help you out. Hopefully you guys will be able to make your own setups and have a little bit better of an understanding of what you're doing. So, with that being said, appreciate you guys for watching, and that is it. Peace.